Hello and welcome back to Stop and Go F1, or should I say Stop and Go F3, because it is the first Formula 3 weekend of the year. Here we are. We're doing it a bit out of order this weekend because Australia and sleep is valuable. And, I've got a Formula 2 video coming up very soon, and thank God I didn't stay up for the Formula 2 because the feature race was cancelled. But the feature and sprint of Formula 3 went ahead, so we're going to look through all of that right now, starting with the Formula 3 sprint. Before we do that, like and subscribe. Huge shout out to the members: Dakota, the Joyous James, Robin Myers, Cinnamon Strudel, Michael Johnson, and F. I think that was everyone. I can't remember. I forgot to say it in the F1 video. I was too tired and excited. But here's Formula 3, everybody. It is Ramos on pole, Zagazzetta alongside. Blitsnitsky is in third, and Stenshorn on the complete second row in fourth. And a fantastic start by Zagazzetta, but Ramos is able to keep the lead. A relatively clean start in the Formula 3, but Ramos, he's building a lead at this point. Going back to the old tradition of Formula 3 of me reading my notes that I wrote yesterday and seeing if I recognise any of the words that I've actually written down. I expected chaos, true chaos in Formula 3 this weekend. That never truly arrived. Of course, you did have DNFs here and there, but we've seen some madness from a Formula 3 season opener before, and it wasn't exactly what we got here. Transpol Interprovazak was looking relatively good throughout the weekend. Went for an incredible move for P2 around the outside of turn 9. He got that move to stick, but eventually fell back from there. Virtual safety cars out for Charlie Wirtz and Josh Dufek. That was out for a little bit. Then that went away and was replaced by a full safety car because Rafa Câmara and Lawrence Van Hoopen were both out. James Wharton out with them as well. Tim Tramnitz had an interesting one here where it looked like he had an issue, was driving into the pit lane. The car broke down. The car then fixed itself, but he was in the entry to the pit lane, so he can't go over the white line. He gave himself a drive-through penalty, went back into the race, was looking okay, then the car broke down again, and then he retired the car. So, wasn't too great for him there. New fella here, Lacorte, Lacorte, Lacorte. Can't remember how you pronounce his name, but fantastic race from him, starting in P30 right at the back of the grid. At this point was up to 16th place, the big climber of the day. Safety car ends on lap 9 of 20. We have some fantastic defensive driving from Nikita Bedrin to keep P6 for now. Ugo Ugachukwu, who is the McLaren Junior, I had an interest in him because he's been part of this McLaren Junior team for a while, and I kind of see him as, when Red Bull first signed Verstappen or Mercedes first signed Antonelli. When McLaren made this big thing of our junior program is now reopened, he was like one of the first names to join. It was him, and then Alex Palou and Pato O'Ward from IndyCar. So it's like, okay, he's joining some big names here. So for me, he's always been one to keep an eye on. Not the best weekend for him in Formula 3 thus far. I was expecting a bit more from him, but still doing pretty good. Lost a lot of places in this race here, as Noel Leon went past him for P10 at this point. Stenshorn was now within 1 second of Ramos, got the DRS. He had the pace, but just couldn't get the move done. And this is something we saw not yesterday in Formula 3, but across Formula 2 and Formula 1. Of course, Albert Park, not exactly the most overtaking track on the calendar. It is a difficult track to make a move on, and Stenshorn was suffering from that here. At this point, all top 5 within a second of each other, very close at the front of the field. To Santopol, Interpuvazak passes Zagazzetta for P4 on lap 15. Santiago Ramos loses the rear of the car, but is able to catch it and keep on going. We get another safety car here, though. Del Pino, and I've written the name down, but cannot read what that says. Nope, not even going to try. Sorry for the person who went out there, but two of them were out. Safety car, race finishes behind the safety car. Ramos is our first winner of the year, winning the feature race. Stenshorn in second, and Blitsnitsky in third. Santopol into Pruvazak in fourth, and then if I believe it was it Zagazeta in fifth? I've written down Zagazeta. Is that right? Yes, it was. It was right. There you go. Sorry about that. My handwriting needs to improve, but to be fair, it was quite late when I wrote that. It was a fun sprint race there, but we move now to the F3 feature, and as we've seen throughout all today, the rain was coming down. Not as hard for the F3 feature, but harder than what we saw in the Formula 1 race. Rafa Câmara on pole, Stormstead alongside. Rolling start. We've got a few formation laps here just to try and get rid of some of that standing water. And Câmara, over and over again here, we see he had a fantastic restart. He has found grip when no one else did. Maybe, you can always say, well, everyone else had a bit of spray. Maybe they weren't as confident as he was with that clear track. But he was just consistently finding the grip where others weren't. We do get a safety car relatively early, though. Solov and Voisin both out. This was just after lap 10, turn 10. Both just kind of went on the grass and were out from there. Safety car ends on lap 6, and once again, Câmara gets away well. Just really better than anyone else on the field. Ramos is forced off, slides across the grass, back on, went down to 17th place on lap 6. We get Charlie Wirtz now, he skips the corner on turn 9. A lot of people did, to be fair. I didn't see any track limit stuff or corner cutting type things being enforced in this race, because it just seemed like everyone was kind of taking that corner, and maybe they were losing a bit of time too, so it equaled itself out there. Stenshorn passes Ugachukwu again. Did not look comfortable. I think out of all the guys in the top 10, it was Ugachukwu. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words here. Ugachukwu, who seemed to be struggling the most in the wet weather. The car never really looking as steady as the others did, as he fell down to P9 here. Sharps off the track onto turn 3, and he fell down to P18. That's on lap 8. Blinsky passes Ugachukwu again, now to Ugachukwu down to P10. Zagazeta taps the back of Yutzi, and that forces him to spin. He gets a 10-second time penalty for that. If I am pronouncing the names wrong here, and I'm sure that I am, I do apologise, but for some of these guys, it's the first time I've actually seen them race and heard their name. By the end of the season, I'll have their names down perfectly, just like my pronunciation of Tzantopol into Pruvazak. Do you know how long it took me to perfect that? A long time. Anyway, Stenshorn, great defending from him on Blinsky. I always say Blitsnitsky. Is that a different person? Sorry. Blinsky. Yeah, either way, Stenshorn, fantastic defending from him. Just car in the right place every single time. Quite aggressive, but still very good for defending for P8. And then we have Christian Ho in the wall. This brings out the safety car again. That safety car is eventually turned into a red flag as the rain starts to come down quite heavily. We finish the race early here, and it is Rafa Câmara in first place, winning the first feature race of the weekend. Stromstead in second, Niall in third, Beder in fourth, Tramnitz in fifth, Charlie Wirtz in sixth, Tzantopol in Pruvazak in seventh, Stenshorn in eighth, Blinsky in ninth, and Ugachukwu finishes in 10th place. Star of Formula 3 goes to Câmara this weekend because he was just fantastic. Everyone else was struggling, sliding all over the place. Never looked in any doubt that he was going to win this race. Every restart was thrown at him. He just built a gap over and over and over again. And he just was like, I think on the second restart that he did, he found like a second between him and second place after like 3 corners. It was just insanely good how good he was. That is Formula 3 for this weekend. Again, I don't think it lived up to the high standards I have for Formula 3 in terms of entertainment and chaos, but we have got some good drivers here this year. Looking forward to seeing what they do in the drive, because obviously they will be more confident from there. These are brand new cars, so they're still very much finding their feet. If it's anything like Formula 2 last year, where they introduced their new cars, all the teams are kind of finding their feet as well. If we remember last year of Formula 2, Prema were really at the back at the start of the year until they fully understood the car and moved themselves towards the front. And I think that will apply to all of our Formula 3 teams as well. So a huge evolution I expect to see throughout this year. And of course, this is just the start, but a decent start it was. That is Formula 3. We're back in a little bit to talk all things Formula 2. The review for Formula 1 is already up. Driver ratings will be out tomorrow. Until then, though, have a good one. I'll see you later. Goodbye.